Today is a day of celebration, a day to celebrate all the hard work that got you to this moment. Today is a day of thanks, a day to thank all the people who helped you get here, the people who taught you and nurtured you, cheered you on, and dried you tears. Today is a day of reflection, because today marks the end of one era of your life and the beginning of something new. But I'm not going to tell you today what I learned in life. Today I'm going to try to tell you what I learned in death. 1 year and 13 days ago, I lost my husband, Dave. His death was sudden and unexpected. We were in Mexico celebrating a friend's 50th birthday party. I took a nap. He went to work out. What followed was the unthinkable. I walked into a gym to find him lying on the floor. I flew home to tell my children that their father was gone. I watched his casket being lowered into the ground. For many months afterwards, and at many times since, I was swallowed in the deep fog of grief, what I think of as the void, an emptiness that fills your heart and your lungs, constricts your ability to think or even to breathe. Dave's death changed me in very profound ways. I learned about the depths of sadness and the brutality of loss. But I also learned that when life sucks you under, you can kick against the bottom, find the surface, and breathe again. I learned that in the face of the void, or in the face of any challenge, you can choose joy and meaning. I'm sharing this with you today in the hopes that on this day in your lives, with all the momentum and the joy, you can learn in life the lessons I only learned in death. Lessons about hope, about strength, and about the light within us that will not be extinguished. Everyone who's made it through Cal has already experienced some disappointment. You will almost certain face more and deeper adversity. There's loss of opportunity, the job that doesn't work out, the illness or crime which changes everything in an instant. There's loss of dignity, the sharp sting of prejudice when it happens. There's loss of love, the broken relationships that can't be repaired. And sometimes there's loss of life itself. What I want to talk about today is what you do next, about the things you can do to overcome adversity, no matter when it hits you or how it hits. The easy days ahead of you will be easy. It is the hard days, the days that challenge you to your very core, that will determine who you are. You will be defined not just by what you achieve, but by how you survive. The question is, what do we do next? As a representative of Silicon Valley, I'm pleased to tell you that there's data we can learn from. After spending decades studying how people deal with setbacks, psychologist Martin Seligman found that there are 3 Ps: personalization, pervasiveness, and permanence, that are critical to how we bounce back from hardship. The seeds of resilience are planted in the way we process the negative events of our lives. The first P is personalization, the belief that we are at fault. This is different from taking responsibility, which you should always do. This is the lesson that not everything that happens to us happens because of us. Not taking failures personally allows us to recover and even to thrive. The second P is pervasiveness, the belief that an event will affect all areas of your life. You know that song, Everything is Awesome? This is the flip. Everything is awful. There's nowhere to hide from the all-consuming sadness. The child psychologist I spoke to encouraged me to get my children back to their routine as quickly as possible. So 10 days after Dave died, my kids went back to school and I went back to work. I remember sitting in my first Facebook meeting in a total haze, thinking, what is everyone talking about and how could this possibly matter? And then I got drawn into the conversation, and for a second, the briefest of all seconds, I forgot about death. That second helped me see that there were other things in my life that were not awful. My children and I were healthy. My friends and family, some of whom are with me today, were carrying us, quite literally. Gradually, my children started sleeping through the night, crying less, and playing more. The third P is permanence, the belief that the sorrow will last forever. This was the hardest by me for far, because for so long it felt like the overwhelming grief would never leave. We often project our current feelings out indefinitely. We're anxious, and then we're anxious that we're anxious. We're sad, and then we're sad that we're sad. Instead, we should accept our feelings, but know that they won't last forever. But I wish I had known about the 3 Ps where I was your age, because there are so many times they would have helped me. The 3 Ps are common emotional reactions to so many things that happen to us in our careers, in our personal lives, in our relationships. You're probably feeling one of them right now about something in your life. But if you can recognize you're falling into these traps, you can correct, because just as our bodies have a physiological immune system, our brains have a psychological immune system, and there are things you can do to help kick it into gear. Finding gratitude and appreciation is key to resilience. People who take the time to list the things they're grateful for are healthier and happier. My New Year's resolution this year is to, before I go to bed, write down 3 moments of joy. And this really simple practice has changed my life, because no matter what happens each day, I go to bed thinking of something cheerful. Try it. Try it tonight when you have so many things to be joyful for. Although maybe before you go to Kips and don't remember what they are. Last month, 11 days before the anniversary of Dave's death, I broke down crying to a friend of mine. We were sitting, of all places, on a bathroom floor. I said 11 days. A year ago, he had 11 days left, and we had no idea. And then through tears, we asked each other how we would live if we knew we had 11 days left. Can you ask yourselves to live as if you had 11 days left? I mean, live with the understanding of how precious every day would be, because that's how precious every day actually is. I never knew I could cry so often or so much. But for the first time, I'm grateful for each breath in and out. I'm grateful for the gift of life itself. I used to celebrate my birthday every 5 years and my friends' birthdays sometimes. Now I celebrate always. I used to go to bed every night worrying about all the things I did wrong that day, and trust me, the list was long. Now I go to bed trying to focus on that day's moments of joy. It is the greatest irony of my life that losing my husband helped me find deeper gratitude. My hope for you is that you can find that gratitude, not just on the easy days like today, but on the hard days when you will need it. I hope that you live your life, each precious day of it, with joy and meaning. I hope that you walk without pain and you are grateful for each step. And when the challenges come, I hope you remember that deep within you is the ability to learn and grow. You are not born with a fixed amount of resilience. It's a muscle. You can build it up and then draw on it when you need it. And in that process, you figure out who you really are, and you just might become the very best version of yourself.